Nate Silver of the 538 blog is here now with a closer look at some of the results. So Nate, let's start with Ohio because it's where everyone's focused tonight. Are there places where we see either the president or Mitt Romney overperforming or underperforming the polls that we had coming into tonight?
Well, so Obama's doing well in South Central Ohio, which is maybe a region where the message about the auto bailout and about bank capital and so forth paid some dividends. He's leading in some counties. He lost there in 2008. Others where McCain had won by a substantial margin are pretty close. So in other parts of Ohio, on the corners of the state, then maybe Romney's doing well enough. But we'll see. I mean, Ohio is not usually a Democratic-leaning state. It was in the polls this year, and so it would make sense that if whoever wins it, but if Obama were to prevail as the polls suggested before the election, you might see some different regional patterns than you do ordinarily. And that south central part of the state seems to be Obama's strongest so far.
Now, Jack and I were talking earlier about what effect Hurricane Sandy did or did not have, and this is a conversation you and I have had. You've written about it. We do see some evidence in looking at the map tonight that maybe it did have some effect in that you see this sort of whole northeastern corner of the country having been called. Now, some of those are Democratic states anyway. But
when the New York Times calls a state, it's usually we're very cautious here, right? And the fact that Pennsylvania and New Hampshire have now been called by all the networks. Pennsylvania was always maybe a little bit of a Hail Mary for Romney, but New Hampshire's a state that can always swing where the polls were pretty tenuous. State where he owns a home. He was governor in a neighboring media market. So that would maybe suggest that this part of the country, the Northeast, there was some effects from the storm potentially. We're going to see now in Virginia now, the question is how much of a game will Obama have in Northern Virginia? He's behind by about 4 or 5 points, but Northern Virginia is lagging behind in reporting its vote. So if he has the same pattern there, then that could be another advantage for him.
In the counties that have reported in Virginia, is the president underperforming his polls in the places that are in?
In the counties that have reported so far, it's right in line with what you'd expect if you had an almost tied race statewide. So the question is, can he overperform in Northern Virginia to get over the hump? Will he underperform and then lose it? So far there's nothing funny, I guess, about both the exit polls that suggested we're going to have a very long night in Virginia, but we have some parts of the state that haven't reported very many votes so far.
Now, the one true toss-up you had going into the night among the battleground states was Florida, which you had as a literal 50-50 split, down to decimal points. Is it looking that close as we speak?
So Obama has a little bit of a lead in Florida right now, and it seems, just from a cursory look at the map, that Miami-Dade County has not reported as much as other counties have. It's a little tricky in Florida because you have a lot of early and absentee ballots, and so sometimes the precinct numbers don't tell you all that you would want to know. But it does seem like if you're ahead and your stronger areas have yet to report, then that's obviously the more favorable position than the other way around.
Thanks a lot, Nate.
Thank you, Megan.